Hey, how you doing? It is I, the Terrorific Lady, otherwise known as Brandy, and welcome to Retro Horror School and happy Friday. My big weekend plans involve either playing video games or having a marathon of the Lord of the Rings Extended Edition DVDs, which I finally found lurking in the back of my hall closet. So those are my plans. I hope you have really big plans of your own. But let's get on to the video. Iconic horror movies: The Shining, Carrie, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Alien, The Exorcist. You hear this term thrown around all the time. These are iconic horror movies. These are must watches. But what is an iconic horror movie? Or more specifically, what makes a horror movie iconic? I will go over some characteristics of what makes a horror movie iconic, along with a few examples. So here we go. Themes and the psychological impact that horror movies leave on us. So think about a horror movie, for example, Jacob's Ladder. It isn't a movie that's just scary. What it does is it's a bit of a mind trip and takes us on almost a surreal, dreamlike psychological journey of a Vietnam War era veteran. Now, why does psychological exploration of this type make a horror movie iconic? It's because of these types of films, or these types of iconic horror films. What they tend to do is delve deep into the depths of the human psyche and what makes us tick. Iconic horror movies are like a mirror that reflects our own fears and our own insecurities. And by exploring these kinds of themes, horror movies connect with the audience on a very personal level and leave a lasting imprint on us. It's about making you, like, that movie kind of sticking with you long after you leave the theater, or long after you have stopped the movie, or long after you have stopped streaming it. Movies that stick with you in this way are indeed iconic horror films. Unforgettable scares. Now, admittedly, what scares us is very subjective. A movie that scares one person is not going to necessarily scare somebody else, but there is just something about iconic horror films where we can pinpoint specific scenes to be like, oh my God, this scared the absolute crap out of me, or oh my God, this was disgusting, or oh my God, this is very unsettling. Take a horror movie like, for example, The Shining. You have the iconic scene of Danny going down the hall and encountering those twins that ask him to come play with them forever and ever and ever. You have the elevator doors opening and all the blood pouring out. Those scenes stick in your mind. They leave lasting imprints, lasting impressions, and they are unforgettable. And those kinds of scenes are what make a horror movie iconic. Horror genre influence and innovation. Now, if you think about iconic horror movies, they are not movies that follow the trends. They're the ones that are setting the trends. This is a movie that was made in 1968, but think of George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead. It not only scared the crap out of people, but it pretty much set the standard for all zombie movies as we know them today. So a movie that is an influence, or a horror movie that is a horror movie that is an influence and innovates, pushes boundaries, challenges the conventions of what's already there, offers new perspectives. They're the trailblazers. They're the movies that pave the way for all the horror movies that come after it. They pave the way for storytelling techniques, thematic explorations, and societal reflections. So they're redefining what's possible within the genre, which in a sense makes them become iconic and inspires future filmmakers and future film writers to keep pushing the envelope. Cinematic elements. Cinematic elements are what binds a horror film together and contributes to the overall experience. Things like its cinematography, its score, and its attention to detail all create this atmosphere, and it intensifies the scares and the response to a movie, because a horror movie is not just about what you see on screen, it's about what it makes you feel. So all those elements, the score, the cinematography, all that, it combines together to help build tension and to make you think about that movie long after the credits have finished rolling. So to wrap it all up, these characteristics combined together to make an iconic horror movie, and an iconic horror movie is a movie that over time has widespread praise by either critics or audiences or both. So what I want to know is, what horror movie do you think is iconic or has the potential to become iconic? Let me know in the comments below. And sadly, class is dismissed, everybody, but I will see you next time. Bye.